See those docks behind me? The US Navy built them in the late 1890s to refuel their ships with coal, but a hurricane blew them to bits almost immediately after they were built. Actually, we can't even go over there right now because of a recent hurricane. Hurricanes are the most powerful storms on Earth. They release 10,000 atomic bombs of energy in just a few weeks. That's enough energy to... let's just say it's a lot of energy. But how do these storms form and how do they get so powerful? Let's ask someone who knows a thing or two about hurricanes, a paleoclimatologist.
Hi, I'm Lina Perez Angel and I'm a tropical paleoclimatologist. So a hurricane is a type of storm and is a tropical cyclone, and it forms in above the waters of tropical and subtropical waters. They particularly form in the tropics or near the tropics because they need warm water. You need waters that are above 80 Fahrenheit. So these tend to appear in the around the equator or a little above the equator, which we call the subtropics, because this is the ingredient number one to form a hurricane. You need high temperatures in the ocean. These warm waters, what they do is that they also warm the atmosphere about where they are. And what it does is that it's warming the air, and the air rises in order to start forming the hurricane. This air that you're hitting with high humidity is less dense than what is above, so it starts rising, and then it gets replaced. It gets replaced by another, other air. So it keeps like fueling that until that air goes from water vapor to liquid form. And forming the liquid, you start forming clouds. And the more clouds you start forming more storms. And the storms is like what you really need in order to start forming this hurricane. So it's kind of a loop of fuel that you start increasing more water vapor. So, you know, like the atmosphere is warmer, more humid, more vapor, more clouds, more storms, and then it starts raining way more. So it starts forming from the clouds to start having more rain falling down. And when you have all this fuel of the water and the atmosphere fueling, you know, giving the strength to the hurricane, it starts to move. But at the moment it touches land, that fuel stop feeding the hurricane, so that's when it lands and it dies. And that's why we see those big effects of storms that just falling or finishing in the coast, or particularly in the east coast of the US and Central America. Hurricanes is being because of a very interesting force that happens on Earth, which is called the Coriolis force. And basically what happens is that when you have a steady wind or you're moving in the northern hemisphere, which is where we are right now, there's a force that tends to pull you to the right all the time. It starts to pull you to the right. So these winds start, they're going this way, right? If you have the Atlantic and then you have the US, then start pulling all that wind to the right and start spinning because everything start being, you know, like a spiral for the hurricanes.
Earth's climate is changing. As we continue to burn fossil fuels for energy, more carbon dioxide gets in the atmosphere, trapping more of the sun's heat. This is a problem for people who live in places that are prone to extreme weather events like hurricanes. How? Remember where hurricanes get their energy from: latent heat in the ocean. If the atmosphere is holding on to more heat, which it is thanks to climate change, ocean temperatures will be higher, giving more fuel for storms. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see more hurricanes, but it does mean that on average, the hurricanes that we do see will be stronger than they were before the Industrial Revolution. I mean, do we really want to see the strongest storms on Earth become even more powerful? It would mean the destruction of buildings, homes, people's lives, really. We've got work in cutting our carbon emissions, and it needs to happen now. Want to learn more about our national parks? Then hit that subscribe button, friend. Stay up to date and catch bonus features by following us on Instagram @OutSCIder.